In today's video, I want to complain about something that I've been holding in my heart for a long time. So this is a painting that I did yesterday. It's a little study on Yupo paper in acrylics. The painting that I did yesterday is already on my website. I will post a link below so you can take a look. And that painting that I did yesterday began a new series that I will call, what am I going to call this series? I'm sorry, I had to check the name of this series that I called Replica, and it will refer anything to more than one that looks the same, or maybe that could be also like a picture of twins or something like that. So yeah, we'll see how this will develop. I'm going to make at least one work like this a day. I mean, not exactly looking like this, but this format and this materials, this style. So we'll see what will happen. I'm going to cut paper first. My space has been really messy. I mean, it's always messy, but in the last 2 weeks is especially messy, and there is a reason for it. I had appendix surgery that took place about a week ago. Not about a week ago. Today will be a week and 1 day ago exactly. So I still should take it easy, but I don't know, it's just my nature. I can't really sit in one place, and I was in the bed for about 1 week and I miss the studio and painting so much. So here is the Yupo paper that I'm going to cut now. Okay, ready. I have 4 sheets. I'm not going to use all of them, but definitely start a new one today. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned that there is something I want to share with you or complain about, and that is something that has been or is bothering me since January this year. And for many people, maybe it might not be a big deal, or maybe some people might say that I am too sensitive or exaggerating things, or maybe I should focus instead on other things. But it is something that interrupt my workflow in the studio, my well-being, my spiritual and mental satisfaction of being in this space. As you know, artist studio is a form of a sanctuary or church where you actually get things done in a manner of a secret, or even if there is no ritual behind it, it's almost as a ritual itself of making art and creating something that you later will share with others. And for centuries, artists didn't really need much to create art, and oftentimes even don't need like a special materials to create art. Art can be anything that involves your thinking, heart, intellectual approach, and artistic execution of what you do. But regarding the space, even if artists can use any space anywhere, just like many other people, space required some sort of things that want you to go back to it and work in that room and make this sanctuary of yours something that will lift your painting and will lift your art, and then you are able to release that to the world. But if this element of enjoyable aspect is missing in the space, then everything else become a struggle or become an interrupted and unfulfilled creativity. And that complaint that I have, or that worry that is with me every day I come to the studio, is the smell. But imagine, it's not the smell of my paints and mediums in the studio, because nowadays I'm using all kinds of mediums that are odorless, even if they maybe produce some chemical odor in the studio. And even if there I smell paints, that's something that gives me additional power or inspiration to do things. And that part of the smell right now is missing in the studio, and for one and only reason. So as you may know, spaces that we rent, apartments or houses that we rent or own, have neighbors. And sometimes we're lucky with our neighbors, sometimes we're not. And that has nothing to do with them being nice or not nice or something else. What I mean is that sometimes the neighbors we have, they have own requirements, vision, and way of working that might not necessarily interrupt the neighbor's space or invade a neighbor's space in form of noise, odor, culture, anything. And I think that that's something that happened in the space that I am using right now. So as of today, I have wonderful neighbors around me, but with all that comes other aspects that I can't control and I can't change. And one of them is odor that comes from my neighbor's space and fills my entire studio. So when I come to studio, the first thing that I smell is not my paintings or my paints. The first thing I notice is the smell coming from the neighbor's wall or the neighbor's space. And oftentimes I am also interrupted by the music or the low vibration bass that fills my space as well. So, and that's what I said at the beginning, that some people might say or think that I might be sensitive, overacting, or instead I should focus on other things. And I am doing this, and I am trying to do this because at the end I have no choice. And that is the only thing that is left. And it throws me out from my work routine, my flow. And with the odor that I have, oftentimes I end up having headaches that don't happen with my oil paints. And also it interrupts my workflow, and I often think and ask myself, am I that kind of neighbor? Or if somebody would raise concerns, would I try to solve it, or just pretend that I'm solving it and at the end act like nothing happened and act like I am entitled to do things without considering others? So anyway, that was my main things to share today. So I'm back to painting now. I feel much better now after sharing my concerns and thoughts. You know what they say? When you share the problem or issue with somebody else, even without hearing a solution to it, it's almost like halfway resolved, or almost like resolved. And that's how I feel right now. Thank you to a collector from New Jersey for purchasing this small painting. I'm going to pack it now. Okay, done. I'll put the address and ready to ship. I'm going to finish this little painting tomorrow morning, and I have 10 minutes. So I'm going to make some changes on the big one here. Remove that canvases. Okay, I'm done for today with the painting and the studio. I'm going to pack and go home. I needed that white to disappear from the canvas, so I mixed some color and I applied. It's a layer of a color on a layer of a white oil paint, as well as the yellow the same, and I also added some green spots. I'm going to show you green spots that you can see here. They're very subtle and subtle, and I think that gives me a better beginning for the painting. I need to now focus on details and story of the painting itself. This big painting here is a part of 4 seasons. This one is spring, which is still in progress. I really want to work on this part here and make changes here, as well as build some details at the bottom of the painting. I'm glad I made some decisions with color application, and I'm ready to go home now. It's so nice to have that big painting canvas behind me as a background. It looks nice and feels good. All right, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Good night.